slab and see what's on the slab. I see you shiver with anticipation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Into the Comiverse. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our favorite cult films. But first, let's introduce the panel. First, we got from across the pond, Mr. Dr. Von Hoot. How you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. How are you?
Pretty awesome, man. Looking forward to getting into tonight's subject matter. We also got Cliff from Cliff on Comics. How you doing, brother?
I am lightning.
Awesome. We also got Rich from Comic Cat Collectibles. How you doing, brother?
What's up, everyone? How am I supposed to compete with those two, man? Come on.
And making his debut here on Into the Comiverse, we have Remy Q. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing. Listen, I agree with the last statement because after the I am lightning, I just
my brain can't handle the docile nature of the internet on episode 6. I mean, because 5 was like shattering, but like I've watched it like 20 times. I just sit there and just like, I am lightning, and I'm like, yes, girl, play all your power.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna be talking about episode 6 tonight. I hope everybody watched it. There may be spoilers. So I'm gonna go through the chat real quick. First of all, here's the link if you would like to join tonight's panel. We're going to be talking about our favorite cult films or films that have garnered a cult classic. They may not have hit it real big, when they first come out, but they become favorites for everyone. First off, we got Kenneth Bird. How you doing, brother? He messaged me and told me he got his prize package in. I'm glad you got it. I hope you liked it. Remy Q in the panel and on the chat. How you doing? As well as Cliff. How you doing, brother? We got KBDM. How you doing, brother? Also in the panel and chat, Dr. Von Hoot. And Lettuce Comics, new to the YouTube scene. Go give him a sub. Let's get those numbers up. And he's also part of this week Comic Spotlight.
Yeah, I only found out about him today, I think, and I subbed him up. That's awesome.
I think I seen it yesterday. Oh, yeah. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and segue into that real quick. We're going to do this week's Comiverse community shout-outs, where I pick 7 channels every week, give them a shout-out, check out their stuff. They make awesome stuff, and we're going to get that stuff going just as soon as I can. There we go. So this is this week's Comiverse community shout-outs. That was this week's Comiverse community shoutouts. Give every one of these channels a subscribe if you haven't done so. And as you can tell, I reached the bottom of the list. So if y'all got anybody y'all need to think needs a shout out, let me know through Instagram or whatnot.
I think we have someone in the back.
Oh, we do have somebody back? Oh, it's the comic vet himself. How you doing, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Good.
Look, our Canadian to Puerto Rican ratio is evening out because I am the centrifuge.
And it's funny that Chris is here because I'm fixing to give a shout out to his only slab's brother, Rob Fatstacks. Congratulations to Rob hitting 2K. And I'm going to say that is criminal because he should be at 10K by now. All the stuff he does, he should be at 10K.
It's only a matter of time, though. Let's be honest.
And honestly, what is it?
Only slabs alone he should be at 10K.
Yeah.
It's great.
And to be fair, Chris should be as well. So, I mean.
Yeah.
And
maybe 4K for Chris. But the point is,
don't be hating on our Canadian brother here.
The Bills hat is holding him back.
Because it's Canadian, I'm allowed to do it.
I actually still have the live video on my channel where it was a test, and Chris was the one that popped up, and after it was over with, he was the one that started giving me pointers on all this stuff. So I mean, and I cherished it. I still cherish it. And believe, Rob's got a giveaway show on the 27th as well.
Is it next week? Yeah.
No, I think it's
No,
May
no,
the
No, it's
4th.
May 4th. It's May
May
4th.
4th.
May 4th.
Yeah.
He's traveling.
Which is
next
going to
week.
be hard as hell. May the 4th is Rob's giveaway, free comic book day. Technically a Star Wars day.
I was gonna say my whole live show that night is gonna be devoted to Star Wars. Just a spoiler. Well, that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
I may be, if I join Rob in the day, I'll probably be joining live from the comic book store. So that'll be interesting.
I'm gonna go back to the chat real quick. Let's see. We got Comic Rich and hello, Mellow Lettuce. Oh, thank you, Kenneth. I was worried about the posters, how they turned out, because here around here, I had 2 prints that I sent him, and there was no poster tubes or anything for me to put them in to keep them safe. So I did. I just rolled them up, put a paper clip in them and prayed. So I'm glad they turned out good. Rob, if I was sending them to Rob, he would have condemned me for the way I shipped those. Canadian Survivals, how you doing, brother? All right, we got Gary B, the casual comic guy. How you doing, brother? And that is it for now. So let's talk about, before we get into our subject, which is cult movies, what did everybody think about X-Men 97's episode 6? We got Life, Death, and then
6 was good, man, but it's tough to come after episode 5.
Oh my
man.
God!
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm going to bring this image up because with the parts with Xavier and Lalandra and them, it was nice to see this little outfit that Charles was wearing from 275.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I was so offended to hear that my solar system is considered ghetto.
Yeah, I know.
Our galaxy is considered ghetto. Our Milky Way ghetto.
Yeah, but do we really cherish what Deathbird says?
Listen, I only cherish when she's right.
She's ain't she like the racist sister that we don't claim?
Right? And the nerve of her too, because at one point she was on the X-Men. So this
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so this is very, very bad, naughty Deathbird. Maybe we'll get a nicer version or not, and we'll see what goes on.
I don't know about
It's
that.
like from the Canadian ghetto. Easy there, Rochester. Like,
What was it? I was trying to remember. It might have been Enter the Dragon, where Jim Kelly made a comment that every town has a ghetto. When he's talking about, I think they're in Hong Kong.
yeah.
I mean, that's just true in general.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to tell people when they asked me where I was at, I tell them I was born and raised on the main streets of Caraway. If you've been to Caraway, there is no main streets. So,
But yeah, who would know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like people joke about where I'm from, but I it's like the crime statistics of my home are alarming.
Yeah.
If you don't come from
How you doing, Southern Comic Geek?
really that bad?
Cliff,
Now-
you in the Bronx too?
What? Am I in the Bronx?
No, Cliff. Is Cliff
Oh.
in the Bronx?
No, my hometown is Newburgh, New York, and statistically, the crime rate is alarming for such a small community.
Now,
And things are so bad there that I hope and pray that I can win the lotto and get some Tyler Perry money so I can actually do something for the community.
Now, KBDM posed a question, said, why is Xavier still alive? Now, I'm going to try to answer this, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but believe in the end of the last series, he was taken up in space, and everybody... Now, this is where I'm thinking when he comes back, it might be a bad thing for the mutants because, they basically told the Earth that he got killed. So when he comes back and goes, hey, guys, here I am, do you think that might have a backlash on the mutants or...
Could anything be worse for them at this point?
Well,
Hell no. He's going to walk up in there and be like, I'm here, my brothers and sisters, with my alien queen bride.
But think about
With my robot legs.
but think about it. They got a guy.
Man legs.
If you think about it, they got a guy sitting in prison for supposedly murdering him.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, so he'll get a sentence reduction. Oh, poor scumbag. So
wasn't there opportunity to go in front of the UN because of Xavier's like sacrifice or
Yes.
death?
I believe so.
Yeah, I
Yes.
kind of thought like I'm kind of thinking like if he comes back, the UN's going to be like, yeah, you guys fudged all this. Screw you guys. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, they could, but it could get really crazy depending on which way you want to go with it. If it were me, I would be diabolical. I'd have one group of like, look, they manufactured all this. Mutants are evil. And then I'd have a cult of people who are like, mutants are immortal. Like, that's how this is happening. They're the second coming. And like, just go crazy with that, right? Just like, and have wild infighting.
So they're jumping all over the Claremont story run because, like, the story of this part with Charles and Deathbird and all that happened earlier than Gambit and Sinister chronologically. So I think they're going to build this up. They're going to do like the Fall of the Mutants with Adversary back towards the end of the season or something. That's just my thought. But
either that or they may save it for the next season. You never know.
Well, the writer said that episodes 8 through 10, in his opinion, were the best.
Yes.
So
I do like how they keep teasing Sinister. Like we had a couple early episodes, and it's just like little flashes, not even a full vignette of just Sinister. Because I always think, like in the background, to me, like it always comes back to Apocalypse. But I like the fact that it's Sinister for this season. That it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already established Apocalypse in the original series.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's safe to have Sinister on his own right now.
Oh, yeah.
But I always feel, like I said, that it always comes back to Apocalypse because in the end, like, it always comes back to an Omega level villain when we're dealing with the X-Men. And that first cartoon always thought that.
Sinister has caused plenty of uniquely sinister trouble. Look at Orchis. All Sinister, in fact, clones of Sinister. Thanks, douchebag. And then, what is the other one that's terrible? Even Sins of Sinister was all about him, like, oh, I implanted my DNA in all of you.
I'm just glad that they brought him back. I was really worried after episode 3 that it was going to be
a one and done.
More of a cameo, just threw him in there real quick, and then that was it. So the fact that they brought him back and they're kind of circling back around to it, I was really excited.
I thought the same thing actually after episode 3. I thought it was, like he should be a big bad, and I thought they'd written him off after that. So it's awesome.
For the record, I sent my Sinister out for a signing event long before X-Men started this season.
Oh, wow.
So just throwing it out there.
Well, just because it's just a good book, period. But what I am wild about is I am so convinced that Cable is talking about is Bastion. But does anybody else have any theories about who he is that Cable is worried about?
Could be Strife, right?
No,
Cable came back.
Yeah.
I mean, when Cable was first dropped in, his evil twin clone, Strife, came in with him. So
I thought Strife myself personally.
That would be interesting.
Gary B, to answer your question, maybe we will see some non-mutant superhero guest stars.
We're definitely getting Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'd
God!
like to see them mix in a little Kamala Khan in there. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. The Spider-Man shows up, especially that Peter Parker from that series in the 90s.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It would break the internet. Like
it would. Yeah.
Get that voice actor and everything. It's like, what is he doing here? He's like, I'm still on a multiverse quest to find my Mary Jane, but I see you guys needed help. And everyone's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Weren't they technically in the same universe? Because
they are in the same universe.
Yeah, the X-Men crossed over with Spider-Man back in the day.
And Captain America appeared in the final season of X-Men. So it's all legit.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Fantastic Four and Iron Man are in the same universe.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna segue into this week's comic history. There's a little segment I do called This Week in Comic History. We got some pretty good books. We got one super book for this week, so I hope y'all enjoy it. Short and sweet, but this was the 86th anniversary of the first appearance of Superman.
Yes, the most important comic book anniversary there is, in my opinion.
Exactly. So, what do y'all think?
I don't know about you guys, but I can remember picking up that Transformers with Shockwave off the rack the day it came out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean to be flexing my age, but I was so excited for that. So excited for that series.
Oh, yeah. And that's a really awesome cover, too.
And I remember getting Quick Chocolate Mix and filling and ripping the label off and mailing it in so I could get my ash can version of Action Comics #1.
Oh, hell.
So I'm dating myself a bit. I have the chocolate Quicks version of Action Comics #1, which only reprints Superman's origin and not the entire Action Comics #1.
Oh, yeah. Which is interesting, because, not only was it the first Superman, but it was the first Satara and the first Tex Thompson as well.
Yeah. And first Daily Star, first Lois Lane, first George, what's his name? Who I can't remember, and I'm ashamed.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
We'll try to get that book.
Just remember, if y'all really want to surprise me for my 50th birthday in 4 years with a 0.5 Action 1, that's great.
Oh, sure.
There's so many for us to choose from out there, too.
In the 0.5, right?
And what does a 0.5 even go for these days? Like a $500,000?
I don't know, but there's like a CGC 9.8 corner panel of the cover of issue 1, right?
Legit question though, is there actually a 0.5 on the census?
I think there is. Yeah. That's a good question.
Incomplete copy would be 0.5, right?
You could be complete and be a 0.5.
You could, but usually if you're complete, you're a 1-0.
Remy, you're not the only one. I need that 135 too.
Yeah, I need to get
Oh my God, the CGC 0.5 of Action 1 is $100,000.
I thought it was more.
Well, no, because a lot of the cover is eroded.
I think I need 4 single issues to have all the Dark Phoenix saga. Of course, 2 of them are 129 and 130. And then the other one's 133 and then 135. So, I mean.
You have 101?
No, I don't have 101. But right now I'm just working on Dark Phoenix. Then I'll worry about Phoenix. I got X-Men 94, though.
I saw that.
But I'm going to bring up Brian again because this is going to segue into something. We all know what's coming, and that is the CBC Awards are fixing to start. So I'm going to play this little video for Brian. He was nice enough to send it to me.
Inside of me, you better watch out if you ignite me. The road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead.
And
play it again.
Okay. For those of you who aren't aware, CBC Awards was created by Brian. And it's a way to give back to the community. So you can go to www.cbcawards.org and cast your nominations for your favorite YouTube channels, the channels you think deserve to win these illustrious awards. And hashtag recognize or acknowledge me. Anyway, so guys, y'all got any, before we get into the main topic, which is our cult films, do y'all have any comics y'all want to show off? Because I wasn't able to make it to my LCS this week because of Bill's kicking my butt. But, if y'all got something y'all want to show off, just let me know and I'll spotlight y'all.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Well, then we'll start with Cliff.
I'll go after Cliff then.
All right.
Show
us what you got.
All right.
As Chris would say.
Amazing.
Easy now.
Don't worry. I understand that this show is PG-13. Wonder Woman's amazing. Freaking Tom King and Daniel Sanford are doing amazing. This is the A cover. Love it. All right.
What's up, Mark?
What's that?
We got Mark from Legion of Comics.
Oh, Mark. Why didn't I see Mark?
He's right down here in the corner.
Oh. Damn, I'm being terrible. All right. How dare they? I wrote to Key Collector complaining that this did not appear in their list of variants for the Legacy issue 300 of Nightwing. All right. It's gorgeous Dan Mora work. All right. Probably the best Avengers book we have right now, Avengers Twilight.
Yep.
And it's a potential future.
That last page was amazing.
Dude, every issue.
No spoilers. I haven't read it yet. No spoilers.
I'm not going to say anything. Just everything is amazing. Of course, Superman number 13, part 2 of the House of Brainiac.
Also amazing.
That is amazing.
And of course, because I love a crisis, the only crisis on Infinite Earths that matters.
Well, there's only 2, I guess.
Some Ultimate Black Panther.
Cliff's
World's Finest, which is always fun.
That was so good.
And the last 3 is just my love of Spider-Man. It's Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Boy and Miles Morales.
That was really good. Miles was good again.
It's almost, with one exception, it's almost every Spider-Man book I currently enjoy.
All right. So, Rich, I guess it's your turn.
All right. New stuff. These are a couple weeks old, but I wanted to show them off because they're cool variants. It's the Darth Vader Sabine Wren Rebels variant.
Nice.
Nice.
Which is pretty dope. I didn't even get these, but they sent me 3 different covers. But this one, the Ghost Rider Final Vengeance,
Yeah, I love that.
half foil.
Oh, yes.
That's
Awesome cover.
Delivered.
Yeah, that's badass.
And this one's not a variant, but I just wanted to point this out. Does this look like anything familiar?
Can't you see it? Can you hold it closer?
You don't think this looks like Crashdown #1 homage almost? Like kind of taking a swipe at him or something? With the
No,
head
I mean,
on
I
it?
guess. I can see what you're saying.
Stabbed in the face.
When I
Well,
saw the cover, I'm like, that looks familiar.
But
Mine's
also, most of the Crashdown covers are also homages.
The A cover is just a close up of girl's face.
Of a head, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple slabs back. I got the first Spider-Punk
Ooh.
Stan Slott signed 9/4. Just like
That's
about
nice.
that.
Does it recognize that it's the first appearance of Spider-Punk on the label, just out of curiosity?
That's a great question, man.
I'm glad
Better.
that you put it that
Better.
way, DVH.
Yeah.
First appearance of
Copyright.
Spider-Punk. Says it on the back because I got a custom label. And then a good old Spider-Boy.
There we go.
Nice.
I didn't have the the variant of it with the Spider-Boy on the cover, but it's just Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos, double signed 9/8. Super psyched for that.
And it still counts as it's still a first printing.
Yep, cover A. And then this book, man, this book blew my mind that I finally have this in my hands. You guys might have saw my Instagram, my video. There she is.
Oh, there we go.
There she is.
Nice one.
Just gonna. Guys, the kiss is so good. That's
man.
it. That's what I got to show today.
Nice.
All
If you're
right.
going to go big, get the first Jackal.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody got anything they want to show off? Or
I do.
all right, Chris,
I do,
it's your
Tony.
turn.
So somehow I got my grubby little hands on this.
Wow, what the hell?
No spoilers.
All I have to say is, oh my. This
Yeah, I've already
is-
heard from Mark the oh my's.
Oh,
I hate you now as much as I hate
I don't know.
Mark, so-
I wasn't aware if Mark read it or not, but yeah, this
Yeah, last week.
incredible. But because Tony is a member of my channel, I just wanted to spotlight a couple of the cool books that I'm giving away. I picked this up recently.
Oh,
This
that is
is-
beautiful.
The Mayhew Amazing Spider-Man 21. Yeah, 21.
That's real cool. Is that an exclusive or something?
Yeah, it's exclusive to Comic Exposure.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to point out that her hair looks lovely. in
Yeah,
this
that's pretty hair.
I mean, it looks okay, but I mean, I have hair, so I don't look at it as valuable.
It's the breast hair I've ever seen. I mean, best
To
hair.
be
I've
fair,
ever
I
seen.
have actually got pretty good breasts, so it's you know,
Oh, that's
Good night,
scary.
everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
The Silver Zero, one of my personal favorites, Alpha Flight #1, but I think there's 5 different first appearances in that.
You know, it is funny because that one's criminally. That you can still get that one for cheap, and that's almost criminal.
Yeah. Void Rivals 4. If you know, you know.
Yep.
Feral #1.
That was Void Rivals 4. Energon Universe 1, baby. God. That free comic book day. God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that behind. We need to talk about that backstage when no one else is around.
Spoilers, but my God, the Void Rivals entry in it. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Like, just like we're going down this road already. Let's go.
Full tilt boogie.
Like, let's go. She doesn't really need an introduction.
Who is that?
Oh wow.
Is that Cara Zor-El?
Yeah. And also, which will be part of my giveaway, is this Jason Fabok signed Rook Exodus #1.
Oh, super sweet.
So yeah,
Hey,
loved it. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Anybody got anything, or
I've got books.
you got books?
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
I will show you what I've got since I can't make it on Wednesdays. But Jay Garrett wrapped up, and this was a 10 out of 10 miniseries, like 10 out of 10. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. I don't have as cool of a cover, but yeah, Ghost Rider. I'm excited for it. The House of Brainiac Part 2. Some John Stewart Green Lantern goodness.
That is an awesome cover.
I didn't realize it till way later, but this is like a $7 book.
Yeah,
I get it because I get Hulk. So like, yeah, Hulk, and then I get home, I'm like, reading, like, wait a minute, that's a $6.99 for what? Yeah,
one new story and one reprint.
Yeah,
2 extra pages.
I knew that like 2/3 of the book is a reprint, so I'm like, wow, they got me.
Yeah, they got you. They got me too because I ordered
This
it.
was damn good. And the fun thing is, if I would have saw it before I paid for it, I would have still paid for it. The best thing Marvel's putting out easily. Yeah, Cliff's right. This has a strange amount of heart to it, despite it being about 9th dimensional imps. Wicked cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
Those are wrapping up. Like Cobra Commander Duke only have one issue left of each. And you can see where they're streamlining into the next set of minis. The end of this was very telling. Cliff, do you read this?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Once I label something trash, I don't go back.
Yeah, that's how I've been. Like every issue, I'm like, I'm dropping this title, and then I read one. I'm like, God damn! Now I'm glad I read it. And it's not for the story; it's for like the little universal Easter egging they're doing. It's like integral and like setting up stuff. So that kind of sucks because I don't care about the main body story, but I care about what they're doing that lends to that.
Oh yeah.
But talking about some variants, I got this.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's gorgeous. Oh, that one's like $12 from that store.
I gotta shout this shop out. It's called Buy Me Toys and Comics. It's Indiana's largest comic shop, and they do retailer exclusives. They don't do a ton, like they're not the normal format shop or anything, but they do retailer exclusives and sell them for $12.99. They're not trying to cap on people. But the 3 of these are a connecting set, which is cool, which explains like the lighting, like the campfires over on Geiger's side, so the shadows and stuff. It's actually really, really cool, man. These things are dope.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
they are cool.
Excited to find those. But yeah, fun stuff.
Nice.
And for Tony, I know Tony, you'll appreciate this last thing. I did a little running around, and this will be in one of my videos next week, but I managed to find a few more of these.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of gold.
Mark, you're not going to believe this, but Rob actually gave one of those away today on Only Slabs. I was kind of speechless. I didn't know
Yeah,
why you would do that.
I was talking to him about the copies that he got that were sent to him with the label things.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I just get those from you? Then I thought about it. I'm like, it's really not worth shipping it to me. Get some here. I got some here. They're here.
Bring it to Heroes.
Yeah, I think I think I've passed 40 copies now. I'm not on Southern Comic Geeks level, but
I think I have like 7 or 8.
Can I have them? I'll buy them.
Nope. Every time I see them in a dollar bin, I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I think I'll just go say I think I have 3. My numbers are low.
Yeah, I found them in a 50-cent bin, and I ended up getting like 25 books for $15. Wasn't a bad deal.
A decent story. I don't get why people hate on it so much. I thought it was great.
I haven't met someone that hates on it. We all just everyone appreciates an undervalued book. Yeah. It's not undervalued. There's just a million copies, like a literal million copies. What are you gonna do with that?
I think that first appearance of Bishop, man. I think I got like 5 copies of that. I think I got all of them in dollar bins.
Yeah, these things just lay around.
Disrespectful.
I still find it in dollar bins, but it was heavily printed.
I don't have one.
DVH, Remy, y'all got something y'all want to show?
Not comics wise.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some books.
Yeah, I don't have any comics, but I got plenty of DVDs, and we'll show for the
these up recently.
Oh,
that is nice.
Remy.
That's
my god!
So these were all half price. So I got this was $3.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Hammer.
I'll give you 4 for it.
$1.50.
Oh, nice.
I got a decent stack. This was I love this pose too because this is like that Silver Surfer 4 pose.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That is. Oh, that's a nice cover.
Beautiful. Oh my god! All this Thor goodness.
Yeah, picked up some Thor. Angel picked up some Phoenix song that she didn't have.
Yeah, I enjoyed that story actually.
Yeah, she got. I think she
adversaries in that.
3, 4, and 5. So we need to get 1 and 2, but that's it.
All right.
Awesome.
That's great.
Well, I'm gonna say hi real quick to where is it now? I got lost in the chat. Lady F, how you doing? And we got the chat just popping tonight. So I'm going to get to tonight's theme, which is our favorite cult films. And I'm going to play a couple of little videos, and we'll try to put them together, which may or may not be successful. But films that we're not talking about the box office, big box office movies. We're talking about movies that might not have did that well when they first came out, but they garnered some kind of a cult following. And these are just a few of my favorites, and I hope you enjoy the video.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Look, you can't take away people's right to be assholes.
Now, if your mother could kiss like that...
You know your shoelace is untied.
Visitors from the past shall return to the darkness whence they came.
So you see, you're never too young to die.
It's all in the reflexes. Call me Snake.
You broke that jaw?
You deserved it.
You should be loyal to your hero. Make it turn on you.
God is our co-pilot. Huh? Remember our car? Yeah. 2 seats? 2 seats. Where's he gonna sit? Where?
Hope y'all enjoyed that. I threw a few things together.
Well, that was awesome. The Wraith
Yeah,
was
that was
in
a
there.
great montage. That was sweet.
And it's funny because I, out of all the ones, I forgot to put Show Enough in there, so I feel like I let the whole thing down.
Show Enough.
Who's the master?
So he gets an honorable mention. So, guys, who wants to start first? I mean, as far as cult films go, what are some of y'all's favorite, underappreciated films? I mean,
what's the name of that one with Gene Simmons in? It's just the name's escaping me. Right, the one where they're on the dam. Right.
The one that was Never Too Young to Die.
Never Too Young to Die. That's it. Yeah. I only saw that a couple of years ago. Bought it on Blu-ray just because I like the cover, and it's amazing. Everybody should see that film. It's hilarious. It's not exactly the most politically correct film these days, but it's still tremendous entertainment.
I mean,
recommend it.
You got George Lazenby, John Stamos. You got Gene playing the Morphodite. You got Robert Englund. I mean, there's other people that I'm probably forgetting, but I mean, it was pretty cool. Yes, Mark.
Who is Gene playing?
He's playing an Morphodite. His name is Velvet. Velvet
Hermaphrodite, yeah. It's
I was gonna say there was an alarming amount of hermaphrodite, cross-dressing, or drag queen villains in the late 70s and 80s.
And in your presentation.
And I'm not saying that that members of my expanded alphabet community can't be villains. I was just a little alarmed that they were so often villains in such a specific amount of time.
And I was gonna play the clip. There's this clip in there where he goes to a club where he or she, Gene, is performing, and they do a little backstage thing, and he signs an autograph, and he goes, "I'll trade it for a kiss," and he sticks out his tongue, and he's like, "Some other time."
Seems about right.
Yeah,
it's a great movie, but yeah, that the whole premise hasn't exactly aged well.
No,
you know what I mean.
Well,
and that you are right that there is a lot of villains that are cross-dressing or trans. It's bizarre how much it was like a trope in especially action and horror. They're the two genres where it happened a lot.
I was gonna say, you see Gene in Never Too Young to Die, and you're like, wow, okay. And then you watch him in Runaway or Wanted Dead or Alive, and you're like, wow, man. Especially Wanted Dead or Alive. I mean, he plays a pretty dang good villain.
Yeah, I was surprised that Rutger Hauer never got more of an action hero type of film after Wanted Dead or Alive. And
Hobo
with a Shotgun is amazing. Yeah, I love that film.
Rutger Hauer was Blind wonderful. Fury. Don't forget about Blind Fury.
Yeah, Blind Fury is classic.
That's where George Lucas stole his ending of Episode 1 from.
Oh wow. Earth Girls Are Easy. Yep.
Earth Girls Are Easy. Yeah.
I'm watching Dr. Von Hoot's gears turn just then.
Yeah. I was like,
remember he cut old dude in half and sent him out the window, and he didn't separate till he fell, just like Darth Maul.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
When I saw Episode 1, I'm like, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's how I felt when I saw Storm flying in this week's X-Men.
I've seen that.
And not only that, but she was wearing her classic 80s outfit.
No, I was in love with that. It was the fact that she did all this flying next to the animals, flying over her reflection in the water. I'm like, Supergirl and Man of Steel and Superman Returns did all of these.
Yeah, but copying something doesn't hurt as long as you do a good job when you do it.
They did a great job. I was so in the moment. I'm still in the moment.
Well, Tony, I don't have any cross-dressing villains for you, but I got some furries.
Okay.
Donnie Darko is one of my go-tos that I felt like was under the radar till well after it came out,
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, Donnie Darko was amazing.
One of the coolest time travel movies with a unique premise ever.
Oh, well, I just
thought with the creepiest character that you could have, because the rabbit was
Frank. Yeah, Frank.
Above and beyond.
Yeah,
I've only seen Donnie Darko once. I've had it for years. Years. I only ever actually watched it once.
Yeah, the end of it was so intense when they kind of corrected and the engine fell on him, and Patrick Swayze woke up just crying at the path that he saw of him being the perv, because that wasn't him, and that was a potential future of his. And it's heavy, dude. It's really good.
And it's funny because it didn't affect everybody, right? Like, why did it affect Patrick Swayze? And yet, like, the potential girlfriend and the sister were just standing there at the end, having never actually met, just looking at it like, what the hell is this? I thought it was really, really weird. And I really have to watch it like 3 times to like figure out like what kind of bizarre reverberating effects were happening from this time travel adventure.
Yeah.
My cult classic was probably the first movie that I fell in love with as a teenager, and that was The Lost Boys. The soundtrack was incredible. I can remember having it on vinyl and cassette. You know, Echo and the Bunnymen and a bunch of other bands. It was just terrific. And then when it got released on VHS, eventually finding that VHS used for cheap, because VHS tapes were incredibly expensive when they first came out.
Yeah.
And like watching it so much that I learned the film and was able to quote the characters as they were speaking. And the cool thing I found about, or that I still find about The Lost Boys now, is that people turn back to it. Like the guy on the saxophone, people still, say, like, I still believe. Like, and there's other moments too that, the grandfather, and like there's just so many, I thought, great moments in that film. Like, it really played into the whole Generation X being young at that point and coming of age. And Kiefer Sutherland was so good as a villain, as David in that film. Yeah. And then the rest of the vampires and stuff, and figuring out, they call themselves the Lost Boys because they won't grow old. They're like Peter Pan's crew. And I just thought it was so good at that. And it introduced me to Joel Schumacher then, and I followed his career ever after that film. But yeah, like for me, it's the Lost Boys, and to a lesser degree, the first Friday the 13th. That whole putting Kevin Bacon in on the silver screen for the first time. And I can remember going to a midnight showing of Friday the 13th in downtown Toronto at a classic old movie theater, and it had a balcony and like a gigantic screen, like one of these ones from the 50s and the 60s that was just kind of holding on by a thread. So they always had these B movie midnight screenings. And being on the lower level, watching the big love scene with Kevin Bacon and whatever the young actress's name was during Friday the 13th, and someone screaming from the balcony above, "Give her the bacon, bacon." I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. My buddies and I still make that quote every so often. "Give her the bacon, bacon." And that's why, whenever Friday the 13th is on, the very first one, the Ari Lehman jump out of the pond moment.
That film is an absolute classic, probably in my top 5 favorite movies, and maybe top 3. I love it.
That's why it's like my 1B of favorite cult movies.
Chris, if I get a chance backstage, I'll tell you about my story when we went and watched Friday the 13th, the remake, at the theaters. I don't think I can say it live because I might get in trouble, but it was a funny little story that I got a kick out of. But we was talking about the Lost Boys being comic collectors. Does anybody ever want to just object to the Frog Brothers when they're starting to talk about that particular Batman issue and saying there's only so many copies, and you're like, that's not really true?
Read this.
Yeah.
Listen, they were grasping at straws. They were like, it's a comic book store. We'll write a scene.
Hey, the funny thing is, if you want to spend $100, the 2 books they show about the vampires, somebody actually made actual comics of those for as the props.
Wow. Yeah.
But I've seen them on eBay for $100. I've thought about picking them up just because.
I mean, it is a Stone Cold classic as well. The Lost Boys is a wonderful film. I can watch that any day.
I gotta be honest, it didn't occur to me as a cult classic because in my childhood it was so wildly popular, and I just never deemed things. Initially I had not deemed things that were wildly popular as cult classics because I was like,
I would sort of say it's on like the fringe because like it is put out by Warner Brothers, so it is like it's got major studio backing. But at the same time, it is a horror movie about vampires, so
But like but apparently, like looking back, it didn't do gangbusters.
Yeah.
But based on where I lived, like you wouldn't have known because everyone saw that movie. Like, you know, parents, teenagers, young children, everyone went to go see that movie.
Yeah, it was rated R restricted here in Ontario when it was released, so I got to see it at a drive-in by sneaking in, you know, in a car to see that. And that was the only way I got to see it. And then just remember thinking this movie's so dark, because seeing dark movies at a drive-in doesn't necessarily always work out well. But yeah, but I remember the soundtrack and then that final battle, and obviously the grandfather was so good in that too. But yeah,
the final battle was so great. I loved the turnabout. I love the genuine shock and dismay from the mom. Like it is one of of movies from my childhood. It's one of my favorite endings. Just because, like, at that point in my life, I just didn't see any of that coming.
So, does anybody got anything they want to show off as far as movies? Because I've got a stack, but I'm gonna wait till the last.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff. Whatever you want to.
I got a small stack.
All right, DVH. What would DVH? You want to go first, or will it?
Yeah,
Rich?
yeah, whatever.
Was it Rich? Was you the one that said that?
No, it wasn't me.
Remy?
Let the Mal go first.
Let the Mal go first?
Yeah, yeah.
Why not?
We'll let the Mal go first. Ooh.
There you go.
The original My Bloody Valentine. It's one of my favorite slasher movies. Didn't do great, but didn't like people have seen this movie. It's not like it's a completely unseen movie, but it was pretty heavily edited. It's from Canada. And the MPAA cut a bunch of stuff out, and unfortunately, the uncut footage that's available is just like sort of VHS-y quality, but it is now all in it, and it is a much better film with those trims put in. So I recommend trying to seek it out if you've seen the old version, because it's awesome. Because you know who doesn't love a masked miner just using a pickaxe the way a pickaxe should be. In caving people's heads in and stuff. Like, yeah, it's very, very cool. Highly recommend that one. Let's have a look here. This one's a little bit underseen. Righting Wrongs with Cynthia Rothrock and Yun Biao. It's one of Cynthia Rothrock's martial arts films that she made in Hong Kong, and it's really good. It's got great action sequences, loads of epic violence, if you're into that kind of thing. I think it's quite underseen, in my opinion, compared to other films that are similar to it, like Police Story, for instance. Everybody's seen Police Story. Awesome film as well, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's worth seeking out. Now, is this a cult film? Not really sure. Just because I like it, I don't know whether there's much of a following for it. Not 100% there. But hey, I thought I'd bring it up. Tales from the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cracking movie. The sequel, not so much. But the first one, highly recommend that. It's an anthology horror film with all African-American cast and director. It's very, very cool. I highly recommend it. I didn't see this until like a year or so ago as well. I'd always heard about it, but very, very cool. Now we go to Ninja 3, The Domination.
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Wow. This is dope. Oh, there we go. Yes. All about the ninja. This is a tremendous film that everybody should seek out if you're a fan of A, ninjas, B, 80s hair, and C, sort of demonic possession movies, which isn't the kind of thing that you put with a ninja normally. But, you know.
Dudikoff is not in that one, is he?
No.
He's I know he's an American Ninja and stuff, but.
Yeah. No, he's not. Who's in this one?
Shokazuki.
Yeah, Shokazagi. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Lucinda Dickey. That's it. She's the lead, right? Yeah.
Yeah. She's the lady.
That's very cool.
From the Breaking movies.
Yes. Now this is a bit of a tomb. I have to come back a bit to fit this in. This is the complete box set of Herschel Gordon Lewis movies. It is absolutely huge. It has an actual annual book inside it.
Wow.
But very cool. But like, I don't know whether you're familiar with Herschel's films. They're super low budget from like the 50s through till 70s. And yeah, they're awesome double features and stuff like that. I can't even see the camera. It's so big. But that's
She-Devils on wheels.
Yeah, loads of crazy movies. The most famous is probably The Wizard of Gore. Yeah, Wizard of Gore is pretty famous. It's actually one of the better films as well. If they are not,
Wizard of Gore is so freaking bizarre for me.
Yeah, I mean they all are. They're mental movies. Some of them are terrible.
Well, no, because like straight up, Wizard of Gore. The ending is it was we who fooled you, the illusionist, all along, and it's like, what? Really? Is this what's happening?
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you illusion the evil illusionist? When did you have time?
Blood Feast. That's probably his like biggest movie, I would say. They're sort of notorious for being the first sort of splatter movies. So they're not like slasher films so much as just like ridiculous amounts of gore in sequences. And some of them are good, some of them are terrible. 2000 Maniacs, that's one of the better ones. Highly recommend that one. It really depends on your tolerance for super low budget films. But I always like looking at them because they're obviously shot on such a low budget in communities that didn't normally have film crews around, and you could see sort of all the countryside and all the houses and how they were. It's like a little time capsule, which is really fascinating that you don't get in your Hollywood blockbuster. And of course, you got your big book here. Let's make sure there's nothing too rude or anything. But like, it's pretty cool. This is a cool box set. It's worth checking out. Then this is one of my absolute favorite cult movies. Don't know whether you guys are familiar with it, but With Nail and I. It's a comedy. It's a UK comedy, and it's really well known over here, but not successful, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't when it came out, but it's hilarious and also quite touching and deep. It's about two alcoholics, basically, and they're like starving actors. Well, they're pretending to be whilst they're just drinking their lives away, and they go on holiday. And it's really funny, but really bleak and sort of British. So I highly recommend this if you haven't seen it. This is the super limited edition version which is like numbered and stuff like that. It's got a huge book in it.
DVH, I legit thought you were going to break out the first 25 seasons of Neighbors, but that's all right, man.
I have several box sets if you want me to dig them out. But yeah, this is like an absolute epic book. It's huge. But obviously, there's your disc in there, which is a really weird thing to have in a book. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. It's Arrow put this out, so you should be able to get it quite easily, I would think. And of course, the best cult movie and movie of all time.
Yes, Grease 2.
This is the best movie of all time. I'm telling you. I love this film. It's hilarious. It's a musical, and I have a lot of song in my heart.
You just need to have a sealed copy you're holding in your hand.
Yeah, it's because I've got another copy over there.
Okay.
That's Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Yep, yeah, it was Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah. Much better than Grease, if you ask me. Nobody did, but it's fine. Yeah, this is the pure book version. And I've never cracked it open, but I also have a digital version on Amazon, so there's no point. And another few. I mean, I could do this all day because there are literally tons, but I'll just be boring the hell out of you. So let's draw the line there.
Well, Boner Jam says that you're a national treasure.
You're an international treasure, Doctor.
International treasure.
International treasure. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that, but
well, anybody got some movies they want to show off, or?
Yeah, I grabbed a couple movies.
All right. What you got, Remy?
Napoleon Dynamite.
I love that movie.
This was one that instantly I was like, I'm gonna hate this, and then somebody was like, no, you gotta watch this, bro. And so it was like, once I watched it, I was like, yeah, I get it now. And then you got to watch it again to figure out like all the little stuff that they throw in there. I grabbed this one because I thought this was a good cult classic, Dogma.
Oh yeah,
yeah, yes.
Yep.
That's
nice.
really hard to get now as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like supposed to be really hard
it.
to find, so it's like Galaxy Quest.
Let's go.
Oh,
yes,
Fantastic film. Again, it's like one of those hilarious things that it just
Sam
once you watch it,
Rockwell.
you get it, but it's
Sam Rockwell Slayer's Guy. My name's Guy. I don't even have a name.
you do have a name. Do I? I have Nothing But Trouble.
Let's go.
I love that movie.
It's another one that I think is again kind of
John Candy, baby.
And actor.
I included Mothman Prophecies. Another really good creepy movie. Yeah.
That movie made me hate bridges for a long time.
Oh my god.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Oh yes.
This is another one that like I had heard a lot about and never really watched it, and then went back and.
It's notorious over here because it was Stanley Kubrick refused to release it because the BBFC wanted to cut it, so we never got it over here until he died. By which point it was released uncut. But yeah, so I have seen it now. But...
The Sandlot.
Oh yeah,
this is like just a great childhood movie that you talk about like quotes and everything. It's everybody's seen. I've got a couple on the I'd like to consider an almost list. We have Stay Tuned.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, with John Ritter in it. This was a really good movie. It's about some people that get sucked into the TV realm of hell. It's fantastic. I included Milo and Otis.
Oh yeah.
This was a big kids film for me, and I didn't know this, but apparently it was a Japanese movie originally, and like a huge movie over there that they had.
That John Ritter movie was great. Like I can remember, like they flipped the channel to the David Dukes of Hazzard and stuff like that. Like this. Stay Tuned was incredible.
It was
I'm glad you. Yeah. I totally forgot about that movie, man. That's great.
It was like they would like flip the channel, and then they're like northern overexposure, and they're like freezing to death outside, and like you know, like all these little quirky things.
I'm putting it on my watch list. I've never seen it. That sounds awesome.
You'll love it, DV.
It is really good. Yeah.
John Ritter was great in that movie.
I've got the Pippi Longstockings.
Oh, I loved that as a kid.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that movie when I was really little.
Yeah, when they grease up the shoes and everything.
That's right.
And then this one, I had to throw in Breakfast Club.
There you go.
Fantastic 80s movie.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So.
Chris, did you just Judd Nelson us just then?
Yes, sir.
So before I start, does anybody else got some flicks they want to show off, or?
I wish I had my stuff. I just want to say shout out to Heathers.
Heathers is a good one.
Heathers was my true first cult classic. I watched that movie and people were like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "It's this movie called Heathers. Christian Slater's in it," and you know, and people are just like, Like no one in my household was like, what is he doing? And then like, why does he watch it? Because up until Heathers, I watched Superman over and over and over, Superman 1, 2, and 3 over and over and over. And then all of a sudden I was watching Heathers. And in retrospect, that should have been the clue that I was a big old gay.
That was the sign. Yeah, that was it. That was the tell.
From a muscled man to teenage angst that were killing people. Yeah.
And, oh my God, the whole thing with the
sudden he realized
and make it look like it was a gay love suicide. Come on.
All of a sudden he knew why he liked Superman.
Oh wow.
No, and you know that's really messed up because it was never sexual when it comes to Superman.
Oh
no. I would have to add to the conversation though, because we haven't had any like good action movies, but Starship Troopers is got to be like the best cult action flick out there ever, right?
Yeah.
One of them. And only the first one.
The first action movie I fell in love with was Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yes.
Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee.
Dolph Lundgren, where they jump over the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my other favorite cult classic, which is much more action oriented, John Carter of Mars.
Yeah.
Is that cult classic status now? Unfortunately,
that's the
I
best.
think maybe it did so poorly that
it bombed.
I love that movie, man.
Yeah, it bombed so hard.
And I remember objecting to see it. And my friend is like, nope, we're going to see it because it's my birthday. And I was like, you may regret this, dude. Every review is terrible. And when we left the theater, I'm like, burn the reviewers.
that scene when they come back from like the temple and everything and all the war armies on him and he sends Deja Thoris down the river and he stays behind pretty much, you know.
Yep.
And he just like flashbacks to finding his wife and just goes absolutely ham. And his dog is out there with him on the battlefield, just mountains of bodies. I'm like my brain was exploding seeing that. Him just fly through the air and just pile them up and fly through the air.
I'm so sad because that was finally a movie where he was the lead, where I thought was like, oh my God, this should be his big break. And it was his big.
It did Savages, Battleship, and John Carter of Mars all in the same year. And none of them put him over.
And he was Gambit too, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that was well before then. That was like.
But my point is they kept trying to make him happen, and then they kept trying to sink his battleship nonstop.
Battleship was absolutely amazing too. Like, I think if you see that movie, you love.
I co-sign that. It's great.
Yeah, there's nothing bad about it.
Yeah, and again, it's
one of the most patriotic movies I've ever seen.
It shouldn't be good. But it's loads of fun. Like
the bad guys are literally shooting the little game pegs into boats and they sink in and blow up. But when they get Old Miss out, they like drop an anchor and the old actual real life vets are on there. Like, ain't no way they're sinking this battleship. Wait, are we about to bomb Honolulu? Oh, someone done kicked the fucking donkey. The real life vets were like the best part. It was so cool.
Damn.
Yeah, he was Gambit.
Come on then, Tony. Show us what you got.
Well, before I get started, I'm going to start with a movie that it's one of my favorite childhood movies growing up. However, I do not own a physical nor digital copy that I need to get. And it's a movie that came out in the 80s called Gotcha, starring Anthony Edwards. And I can't think of the guy's name, but he played, he was in Nightmare on Elm Street. He was the kid that got killed in the jail cell. He was in it. And Linda Florentino. But I'm going to play a clip because every time I think of Gotcha, they go on a class field trip. He gets embroiled into a spy drama with Linda Florentino. He ends up in East Germany, goes through hell, finally makes it to the checkpoint, goes through a strip search, and when he finally gets to the U.S. border or the West German border,
hey, how you doing?
Am I in West Berlin now?
Sure are.
Fuck you! Good night.
I've been wanting to do that for the last 6 months.
I love that, man. But that's a really great movie to watch. Young Anthony Edwards. Back then, everybody knew him as in Revenge of the Nerds, but that was good. So I'm going to start off with my Blu-rays. I got a couple stacks of DVDs. I hope I don't bore everybody. And some of these may not be cult status, but they're just mean something to me.
Before you begin, shout out to Ronnie James Dio, man. That's a great shirt.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Thank you. So we're going to start off with Army of Darkness.
Let me ask you a question. When is it okay to show a 13-year-old girl Army of Darkness? Because I haven't seen it in ages. I really, really want to show it to her.
When she's 6.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I was 13 when I saw Army of Darkness. By the way,
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm so confused about Army of Darkness being on the list because the Evil Dead movies were truly out there.
In all fairness, I don't have a copy of the first Evil Dead on physical. Otherwise, I'd have showed it too. But I love Army of Darkness. I could quote this one all day long. But Evil Dead is the first choice. It's the best as far as independent.
I love that movie. It's wonderful.
And to answer your question, DVH, show her this when you're ready to answer a lot of questions.
Good answer.
And then we got Stephen King's Cats. I love this movie. I saw this when I was a kid. Just the adventures of this cat. The thing about the dude trying to quit smoking still gets me every time. The guy trying to walk the ledge, and that troll at the end.
Yep.
That wasn't CGI. It was badass.
Goddamn real troll.
Hell yeah.
Of
course, we're going
style.
We're going to talk about cult classics. So let's
let's go.
I love that movie.
Great soundtrack.
It doesn't get enough love. Everybody.
No, it don't.
Yeah.
And was it heavily referenced in Ted? Don't he show up in Ted?
Yeah, he does.
Ted.
Twice.
Now, this one is a personal favorite of mine. I never knew they released it on Blu-ray. And this is a movie that came out in 88 or 89. It's called Spellbinder, starring Kelly Preston, MC Gainey, Rick Rossovich from Top Gun, and Tim Daly from Wings. This is a nice, tender love story about a guy that saves a girl from being accosted by her boyfriend, takes her home, being nice. They end up becoming a couple, and then he finds out she's a witch from a devil's covenant, and they're trying to kill her. They're trying to get her back. So, it's a nice little B movie. The ending, I will not spoil the ending, but the ending will throw you for a loop. Oh, and I can't think of his name, but the guy that plays Shang Tsung in the first Mortal Kombat movie makes a cameo. What is it?
Karatagawa.
But he makes a cameo appearance as Inspector Lee as a cop. It's pretty cool. Shout out to Chris who mentioned The Lost Boys, and I love The Lost Boys, but I love this movie as much as I love The Lost Boys, and that is Near Dark.
Oh, yes, sir.
My buddy Tim loves this movie. This is one of his favorite films of all time. And thanks to him, I got this copy. And aforementioned, when DVH showed Ninja 3, we've got Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and Ninja 3 The Domination. And before I get to the DVDs, closing out the Blu-rays, we've got Vampire Hunter D. This was one of the first animes that I seen in the 80s. And it's still
I love Bloodlust. I think Bloodlust is amazing animation. It's got fantastic artwork in it.
But I've always loved Vampire Hunter D. It has a big place in my heart. Now moving to DVDs. American Ninja. Got to throw that in there. And another anime that I love just as much as Vampire Hunter D.
Oh.
I mean, is that a cult classic? That one's really on the fridge because that's like universally loved. I guess it is cult classic because it's
it started out as a cult classic.
Yeah, true.
Now,
is Michael Dudikoff still alive? Does anyone know?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's still alive.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this one's got a cult status or not. I just think it's cool. This is probably the only foreign film I have, and that is Battle Royale. If anybody's never seen it,
Hunger Games.
Yep.
Is that good?
Never seen it.
This is
really.
I know at one point in time, Quentin Tarantino said this was one of his favorite flicks. But
watch the theatrical cut. Don't watch the director's cut. But it's really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, this is really great.
Is it Japanese or South Korean?
Well, there's a North American version out now where it has English dub, but basically
it's a Japanese movie. Yeah,
it's a Japanese movie. You got this government. It takes place in the future where the government became fearful of the kids for some reason, and they take this 9th grade class, put them on an island, and give them weapons and tell them they got 3 days to kill each other. They put collars on them. that if they don't kill each other within 3 days, then they'll blow up.
Takeshi Kitano in that is chilling. He's amazing. He's
what was the girl's name that I can't think of her name.
Remember off the top of my head, but I know who you mean.
The girl in the yellow suit that ends up playing Gogo Yabari in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And another classic. I can watch this movie 100 times. I used to love it. It's an all-star cast. Now I morbidly watch it to see how many of them are still alive. And that is the Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
And part 2. And with me showing the Cannonball Run, I got, of course, play another video.
It's hard to understand you.
When I called you, I was doing 140 miles an hour. That was 6 lamb burgers, 4 shish kebabs, a side order of couscous, and 2 milk.
But I love Cannonball Run and Cannonball Run 2. I've always been told there's a 3. Apparently it was Speed Zone or something like that, but I don't have that one. All-star cast. I know Jackie Chan's still alive, but I don't know how many. There's a lot of people that are in these movies that are deceased now. But it's pretty cool.
It was only Jackie's birthday the other day. I think he was 78.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Got Clerks. I love this movie. This is still one of my. I still watch this movie all the time. I've still not seen Clerks 3 yet. I need to watch it.
Clerks is wonderful. You can watch that. It's so quotable as well. There's just the jokes don't die. They're wonderful.
Watching Clerks 2, growing up in the 80s, I love Samantha Fox. I had her posters everywhere, and the last part of that ruined that song for me. That's all I'm going to say. Another cult classic is The Crow. And one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies of all time, Escape from New York.
Brilliant.
And I watched this movie in high school. My aunt was our teacher. She played it all the time. This has got Rutger Hauer in it. It's called Escape from Sobibor. It's supposed to be about the true life escape from the concentration camp Sobibor during the World War II.
I think that's got a different name here. I'm going to have to look it up because I know that cover. Hang on.
But
never heard of this one either.
Oh, you might like it, Chris. It's pretty. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's pretty brutal. There's a scene in there where some of them try to escape and they get caught, and the punishment is just. Yeah. Let's just say it's brutal.
Growing up, my mom was a big Rutger Hauer film fan, so it didn't matter if it was like hardcore or nudity, that kind of stuff. She would play it and I would watch. But yeah, I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah, that was the only reason why I knew about it was because I'm still trying to track down there. She played in the Anastasia movie where this girl come back claiming to be Anastasia, but she was trying
we're on Rutger Hauer, we shouldn't let this pass. The Hitcher is one of the all-time great performances.
Oh yeah,
and it's a wonderful film.
And I would have showed that if I'd have had it.
I'm desperate for it to come out on Blu-ray. It's coming in the next year, just so you know, but it's been out of print forever.
I still can't believe he ripped her in half.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Some more classics. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Well, you don't have to love it. Like I said, I failed to mention this in the clips, but we got The Last Dragon.
Yes.
Show enough. Okay, now we're going to get into some independent stuff, and that is Puppet Master. I love these little Puppet Master films. I got this at the dollar store for pretty cheap. It's got the first 9, and I think I've made it through the first 5, so I'm still working on it. But Puppet Master's always been one of my favorite.
They do progressively get harder to watch, but yeah, I'm with you. I love the Puppet Master movies.
Now, I'm going to go on record now saying this is my favorite childhood movie of all time that is not a box office smash. Y'all have heard me talk about it. You even seen it in the intro of the clip, and that is rad.
Yeah.
Story of a BMX, a kid, a freestyle BMX rider. He, Helltrack comes to his hometown. He races, and he shows him what he's got. This actually had like Mongoose. At the time, Mongoose was big in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get the guy wrong, but I believe his name is Eddie Fiola. He plays in the movie, and this was loosely based on his life. Eddie Fiola's life. And it's just a movie that I love watching again and again. I got this copy on DVD a long time ago, and now here it's on Blu-ray. Of course, you can see I got the poster. Love it. I'm going to get me a Rad Racing t-shirt. I've seen them on Amazon. I got to get one.
You should definitely get the Blu-ray. It's had a 4K restoration, so it's definitely worth watching.
I hope you pull out Gleaming the Cube next if you got Rad in your hand.
Dude, I don't. Gleaming the Cube is one of my movies I am so looking for. That one. And it's really odd when I find somebody that actually knows what I'm talking about when I mention Gleaming the Cube. That and Thrashing.
Yeah. Yes. Thrashing. Yeah.
And Brian said he wanted a mongoose bike when he was a kid. He got a Huffy. I wanted a mongoose as well. Next cult classic, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I watch this every year on Halloween. Love it.
I love that movie. It's loads of fun. It's how I want my life to be, which is really messed up when you think about it, but it's just wonderfully fun.
I absolutely did not care for the remake, but I love this one.
There's a remake?
I didn't know that either.
No. This is based off the original Broadway play. This is the original. They had a remake that came out a few years ago. They played on television.
Yeah, with Laverne Cox.
I couldn't tell you anybody that was in it. Now, of course, I want to bring up a Chuck Norris flick, and I brought up a horror flick.
Hang on. We can't move past this. Was it a stage show that they just put out, or was that an actual remake of Rocky Horror?
It was an actual remake.
Yeah.
It was done as a live production because like Fox did several Fox Television over here did several live shows. This was one of them. Yeah. What oh my god. Tim Curry does appear in it for a moment.
Yeah.
And Laverne Cox plays Dr. Frankenfurter.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
So like, and Laverne on the first day of filming, Laverne, or preparing, whatever, Laverne Cox met Tim Curry, and Tim Curry's like, you don't have to worry about it. This is your role. It's your turn. You bring to it whatever you can. And Laverne Cox is like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not super great, but
Okay.
Now, like I said, I wanted to show a Chuck Norris flick, and this is one of the only horror movies I know he did. It's one of my all-time favorites, and that is Silent Rage.
Oh my!
This movie is really awesome. It's about I guess these scientists do something to this guy that can't die. He was a homicidal maniac to begin with when they thought they killed him, and then they reanimated him, and Chuck's got to save the day.
Is that where he fights by the well at the end? And kicks it on the
yeah,
well?
Yeah, it is.
I just don't remember the VHS cover for that. It was way cooler.
I love that movie. A lot of slasher movie fans don't like it. They think it's a bit slow, but I love it. But then I'm a Chuck Norris fan as well, so it's.
Well, I was going to say I don't have it, but my favorite Chuck Norris film of all time is Lone Wolf McQuade.
Oh, it's a great movie. You should get that on Blu-ray. It looks fantastic.
The Octagon for me.
Yeah.
The Octagon.
I do have the Octagon.
Yeah, that's great.
Everyone's favorite Chuck Norris movie was Delta Force.
Delta Force is really good, but Lone Wolf McQuade, he drinks beer no matter what he's doing all the way through the film, and it's like, no, I don't drink and drive, and he's pounding beers whilst driving the thing. The guy's a legend.
Yeah. Okay, Santa Claus goes to the mall to sit on Chuck Norris's knee.
That's right. The next one I'm going to show.
What I do during the Christmas season is none of your business.
The next movie I'm going to show came out, I think it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't really remember when it came out, but it was based off a Twisted Sister song from the 80s. And this is Dee Snider's Strangeland. And this is very graphic and very gory. Yep. And, it's funny because when in the late or early 2000s, we had a problem with my oldest daughter and my niece, getting online in these chats and sharing all their information with everybody, and was trying to figure out a way to make, warn them that, there's freaks out there that'll take advantage of them. So Tony, being Tony, decided to let them watch this movie as a lesson, and they quit. So I mean,
Oh.
and granted, they were
because I never saw it. I remember it being in all the horror mags at the time.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a little slow, but he goes through the whole thing. He's going through doing all this torture and stuff, and you're like, man, they need to hang this guy up to dry.
No.
And then the last half of the movie, he's on his medicine and stuff, and they parole him, and a mob of angry people come after him, and you're kind of rooting for him a little bit at the end, but it's kind of. I think you'd like it, DVH. I think you would.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
That came out around the same time that the original Cube came out, and I invited a friend over. It was a female friend, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you got to see this movie, The Cube. It's really creepy." And she brought that, and then I felt like an idiot because I was like, "All right, you win." Like I didn't.
To be fair, The Cube is good though. You weren't
Oh,
wrong.
yeah,
That's a cool movie.
Still,
that would be great done if it was remade today with today's CGI and technology.
Yeah,
The Cube.
Have you seen? There's a French movie on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically just like The Cube, except it's like a prison that is like a floating platform, and they feed from the top down.
Yeah, it's called the platform. I think
it's called the platform. I think you're right.
And it lowers, and each
Yeah.
level that you're on, like when you're on the first level, it's filled with all this food and wine and desserts and everything. And then as it gets lower, people like eat as much as they can, and it's like supposed to be a message about how people gorge too much, and like if everybody just ate a little bit, then by the time it got to the bottom, you'd be good, but you get to these lower levels and these people are starving and they start going crazy. It's really wild.
I got three left, and then I want to show off my subspecies box set. This is the first three, and to be honest, I've watched maybe the first two. But,
I've only seen the first one, so I don't remember it well enough to watch it again as well. Like,
all I know
is it worth watching? Like,
I think if you like Puppet Master, you like it. I mean, these two girls show up in Romania and at Dracula's castle, and then you got these two vampires fighting over them. Radu's pretty cool, and the subspecies, which I don't know if I can bring them up on here, is actually just the little fellas that's holding the body. I mean, and that's a really awesome cover. I always loved that cover. I know they have the first one on Blu-ray DVH, but I don't know about any of the others.
Yeah, I've got the first one on Blu-ray. I'm not sure about the other ones.
I think there's 4 or 5 of them now. Okay, last two. These are two of my favorite cult films, and the cover for this one is very misleading. Trick or Treat from 1986, starring. It says it's starring Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, even though they have very little screen time. But it has Tony Fields as Sammy Kerr. It's got I can't never think of the guy's name. Let's see if Mark Price. He played Skippy on Family Ties. He's the Ragman. He's the hero. This is basically just an 80s horror film about a guy. He idolizes his hometown hero. He's a rock star named Sammy Kerr. Sammy dies in a hotel fire. Gene Simmons, who plays the DJ, gives him an acetate vinyl of his last record that had never been released. And he plays it backwards, and he resurrects the dead rock star, and the dead rock star decides he's going to kill everybody. So it's a cheesy little B movie. It's got an awesome soundtrack by Fastway. And this is another one I watch every year around Halloween. And I wish it had that cover. Because that's the better cover. But I just seen it at Walmart, and just as soon as I grabbed it, it went out of print again. And the last one I'm going to show is another one I picked up at Walmart when I worked there a long time ago, and I haven't seen it since, and that is The Wraith.
Nice.
This is probably easily my favorite Charlie Sheen movie ever. And it's about a guy that gets murdered and comes back with a very badass car. You've seen it in the clips. And he's getting revenge. It also stars Randy Quaid, and I know there's some other people I'm probably forgetting. But this is probably easily a very awesome movie. It's one of my favorites. And that's
was
me.
it based on Charlie Sheen's life?
No.
His
Maybe.
driving habits.
Yeah, his driving habits.
Or was it art imitating life?
No. I think everybody growing up when we watched the race, we wanted that car. I mean, that and the car from the Road Warrior, the Interceptor.
Mm.
But y'all, that's what I got.
I feel the need to mention Peter Jackson's horror movies because they haven't come out on Blu-ray. They're amazing, and Bad Taste particularly is one of my favorite movies.
Monkey
I've seen
Radio
it so many
Baby.
times.
There's Zombie Radio Baby.
What was the Michael J. Fox one?
The Frighteners.
Oh yeah, the Frighteners.
Frighteners. Yeah.
Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, is
the Zombie Radio.
One of the
Baby.
best. Yeah, it's one of the best zombie movies you'll ever see.
Pudding
But
scene,
Bad Taste
the
is
lawnmower
wonderful.
scene.
Yeah.
Lawnmower was the best. That's the best part about the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, I kick ass for the Lord. And he's kung fu kicking priest. It's amazing.
He's just kicking out the legs.
Yeah.
That's God.
Sweeping the legs. That was awesome.
Also, Reanimator, whilst we're on the subject of
oh yeah,
zombie flicks, Reanimator is amazing, as are the sequels. I mean, we could do this all day. I was gonna say
we could do a segment just on horror movies alone. I mean,
Christmas horror movies.
Yeah,
I love Christmas horror movies. They're wonderful.
I love Black Christmas. Yes.
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas is one of the greatest horror movies, period, let alone horror
Canada's gift to the world.
It's wonderful. Bob Clark was a wonderful director. He really knew his stuff.
Oh, you mean Canada's Gift to the World wasn't the movie Millennium? That shit can't even achieve cult classic status.
No, come on, the movie had Margot Kidder as a kid in it. Like,
oh yeah,
it was good.
Don't you drag her good name into this?
Listen, no, she's Canadian too.
I know she was there as a favor.
So Tim's favorite cult films is Highlander, Near Dark, and the Boondock Saints. I cannot forget. I realized I forgot to mention the Boondock Saints.
I haven't seen the Boondock Saints in years. I never saw the sequel either.
I've only watched the first
one. That's okay.
Like I want to see the original again. It's got to be something of like 20 years probably since I last saw it.
Aren't they about to do another one?
Yeah, with Sean Patrick Flannery and Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll always be Daryl now.
Yeah, now.
You know what's so funny? I got to meet the two of them and Darla before The Walking Dead happened, and it was just so casual, and I didn't know how into comics what's her name was, and now she's writing comics, and I'm like, shit, Darla from Buffy Angels writing comic books. But we were standing next to Dennis Calero, and the three of them came over because it was the end of the show, and they're just shit talking with us. But she's really interested in Dennis's artwork, and they're having this whole conversation. Anyhow, it was really good. It's a very flattering memory.
I was gonna say, when I think of Daryl on The Walking Dead, first time I watched The Walking Dead, I went, wasn't he in Blade 2?
Right?
That's right.
But, well, guys, I don't have anything else.
Played Scud.
Yeah, I was trying to remember his name and I couldn't think of it. And
Scud.
Scud.
All right, this is going to be controversial.
Right.
I think Highlander is only half a good movie. Like everything from the tail end is not good.
Are you talking about Full Metal Jacket?
Highlander.
No,
but yes.
Everything after basic training wasn't good.
I mean, it's not that it wasn't good, but it's like it's two movies.
Yeah.
You watch Full Metal Jacket, and after basic training, you can turn that thing off. You just watched a good movie. That's good.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I do like the second half, but it is the lesser of the two. Actually, sort of like Clockwork Orange is a bit like that as well. Like when he's a bad guy and then when he's a good guy, it sort of is a bit less interesting.
Well, I was gonna say I go on record. I love the Highlander films except for The Source, but I actually appreciate the television series more than I do the movies.
Yeah, I like the TV show a lot. And I'm not really knocking Highlander because I do love it. It's just that I think that it sort of loses its way once the Kurgan turns out to be a bit of a goof rather than a proper bad guy.
Yeah. I always thought. I mean, I love Clancy Brown, but I think they should have. They could have.
Yeah, I mean,
they
he's
could have made him
wonderful
for him to be a Russian from being that old. He should have been like a better established like mastermind character than just a. I don't know. And he had some cool lines, but
yeah. Still looking around for stuff to talk about because there's loads of them.
Well, would y'all consider Pulp Fiction a cult classic?
Well, it's definitely a classic. I don't know about cult classic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like
huge.
it's too popular to qualify.
I think Destiny Turns on the Radio would be more of a cult classic.
I have no idea what that is. I'm going to put it to my list.
DVH has a list.
I got lists. I love lists. They're amazing.
So do I.
Big fan of lists.
I'm not on a list, am I?
I don't want to be on that list either.
You're going on a list.
All right.
What was it? I've forgotten it already. Destiny
Turns on the radio.
There we go.
That's my boy.
So I do have a list of my favorite cult classics, and that includes The Wicker Man, The Princess Bride.
The remake or the original?
The original.
The original. Come on.
No, I'm a remake guy.
Suspiria, because the original. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, Clue. Clue is freaking great. Great.
Clue is one of my favorite films and one of my favorite viewing experiences ever because I showed it to the kids.
One you said?
Suspiria.
Yeah. Suspiria is a vampire movie, and they filmed it in Italy, and it is fucking amazing. And they did a remake for Amazon, and it is shit. Like, how do you go from a movie where everything you filmed, everything was like so artistically done and dripping in dramatic scenery, and
I
then
thought
you
you
film
were talking about the Shia LaBeouf movie where he's on house arrest. My bad.
Oh,
No,
that's great too.
that's
Is that Suburbia?
That's Suburbia, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's a really good little thriller.
Yeah.
It's a long wait to deliver that one.
Yeah.
What's number
No one
4?
said Cannibal Holocaust, but okay.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw
So-
Massacre.
I actually own that, and I kept that one out. Yeah.
Cannibal
Another one,
Holocaust?
Poultrygeist. Yeah, I kept that one out too. Oh yeah, Cannibal
I love
Holocaust.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist is
Cannibal-
one of my favorite films. Legitimately, I love Poltergeist.
Poltergeist or
that's great
Poultry
too,
Guys?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Night of the Chicken Dead.
Yeah.
By Lloyd Kaufman.
Very
from
rare.
Studios.
Very rare. Yeah, that was a gift. But,
I
yeah.
forgot about that movie.
It's amazing.
Cannibal Holocaust,
I've got the
I heard
soundtrack
about.
and everything. I love it.
And
Judging from your face,
Yeah.
man, I believe you.
I'm gonna have to find it.
I gotta find
And,
it.
and of course, the worst cult classic on my list, but I freaking love it. Harold and Maude. You want to talk about a May-December romance, Tyler?
Jesus,
You
don't
go
bring up
watch
that
it.
word.
You go watch Harold and
Bro.
Maude.
Cliff, did you watch that? Did you?
Of course I watched
You fell on
May-December.
the sword?
What was that?
You fell on the sword?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the disdain for it that you guys did, you know. But like,
I'm sorry, but listen, I hold you up here, Cliff.
Yeah, so don't continue.
And I got to tell you, what you're about to say, you're falling down some. I listen. I love you, but I'm telling you, you're about to go from here down to here. Real
let
quick.
me assure you. Let me assure you. I'm not about to say it's a good film.
Okay.
All right.
You know, I was only gonna say. I was only gonna say I appreciate the attempts at what it was trying to do.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up another flick, and somebody
Also,
else
it
mentioned
gave me
something else.
frontal male nudity, and you know that's always A++ in my book.
My buddy Tim brought this up. The Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah.
Kick him in the nards.
And Wellbore wants to know: has anybody mentioned any Monty Python movies? We probably should have.
Great.
Holy Grail should have been on there.
Yeah,
the rest, no.
Yeah.
Life of Brian's amazing.
Life of Brian is amazing. Yes.
I've never seen The Life of Brian. I have seen The Holy Grail.
What?
Yep. I've seen clips from The Life of Brian, but I've never watched it.
Baby, get on board.
I'll put that on my list.
The one other horror movie I wanted to mention that's actually not really well known, so I don't even think it's got cult status, but it's the Poughkeepsie tapes. I recommend if you're into like
it's found footage,
found footage, but narration, documentary type of movie. The Poughkeepsie tapes is incredible. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, like DVH said, we could go all night talking about this. But I'm going to go ahead and wind it down. We'll go around the horn and we'll see who they pick first. Well, we'll pick somebody else. DVH, what you got coming up, man?
I will have a video out on the internet, probably on Monday, and then probably on Friday. Cool. And it will be rinse and repeating.
Rinse and repeating.
I probably won't be on next week. I'll say that right now, so we all know.
Right.
But otherwise, you can find me right here most of the time.
Cool. Cliff, what you got coming up, brother?
Sunday nights, Council of Comics, box office news, movie reviews. This time it's the trilogy I chose, which is the Unbreakable trilogy. So we're starting with Unbreakable tomorrow night.
So, is that the actual name of it? Like,
dude, like you don't know how like everyone's choosing trilogies, and I'm like, I need to choose a perfect trilogy.
Yes.
I need something that's going to torture these guys the way I was tortured, but I'm still going to enjoy it.
Dude, Unbreakable is one of my favorite movies ever. Any genre.
It is brilliant. Like that
I really do.
Tier.
I really do enjoy it. So like we're doing Unbreakable tomorrow, and then the following weeks will be Split and Glass. Mondays, we got New Keys and Hot Comics, and now Stevensville is a permanent fixture on all of our live streams, so that is delightful. Wednesdays, we're now doing New Comic Book Day live because we have issues. So for the time being, we're doing New Comic Book Day live on Wednesday nights. Brian announced this morning that Breakfast with Brian will be moving to Sundays. So starting May 4th, because I wanted to choose the busiest day of the year, I'm going to do a morning show on Saturdays.
So when does everyone start stepping on everyone else's dicks?
Immediately.
You're going to Wednesdays and Brian's going to Sundays.
Well, no, I'm adding. I know we're always had Wednesdays, just now it's live.
Okay, cool.
What time Wednesday?
8 p.m. Wednesday.
I thought you've always been live on Wednesday. Or is that live on Monday?
No, it's live on Sunday, live on Monday.
And it's the premiere on Wednesday.
Yeah, so instead of the premiere on Wednesday, we've just switched to a temporary live show. And Saturday it'll be Comics and Coffee with Cliff, and that'll be May 4th. And my first guest is John's Comics with Kids, Sans Kids. So it should be great.
Sans Kids, exactly.
Sans d'enfant.
Without kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Friday, May 3rd, I have a new Crisis Quest trivia with Pressable Defects and Very Gary Comics.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Remy, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, Thursday we're going to talk about it on the internet.
on the web, on the line.
That's one of my favorite shows. It really is one of my favorite shows.
The way that DVH said that, I'm releasing a video on the internet. Yeah, it's Thursday, 9.
And will it or will it not officially be sponsored by Temu?
I might start an official sponsorship from Temu. They haven't called me back, but I'll. You know what? I'll plug them anyways.
I have a new Temu package, dude. The other free stuff that's supposed to come to me finally showed up.
Have you been getting bags or are you getting boxes?
Bags.
Just bags. That's
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, I'm waiting for another. I'm hoping for another big bag to arrive. So yeah.
You got to tell me about this Temu. I have never used it before.
No, don't do it yourself.
Okay, gotcha.
Watch the video. Just watch the video.
Okay. Well, Mark, what you got coming up, brother?
I'm going over to Mad Spidey's channel from here at some point, hanging out over there. But Sunday nights at Week's End.
Cool.
There's shit all week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chris, what you got coming up, brother?
Wednesdays I go live at 7 p.m.
Hear that, Cliff? To do yours at another time.
Yeah. So heads up. So 7 p.m. with
don't think it. You know what? Steve Bizzle and I will be with you from 7 to 7:45.
It's okay. People drop all the time. It's all good. Yeah. Show us what you got goes live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, real time. Let's see, Mark's here.
Yes,
and
sir.
it's an open invitation, new comic book day hangout. You don't have to have brand new comic books from New Comic Book Day. You could have books that are brand new to your PC. And Saturdays I join Rob on this little show called Only Slabs. And on May the 4th, I'll be going live from my LCS Retro Rocket Comics to show all. Thank you, Remy. To show all the new Comic Book Day books that came out, and there might be a giveaway. You may want to swing by and check out that video. And everyone, I can't stress this enough. When you go out for Free Comic Book Day, pick up Energon Universe. It is such a good read. Such a good read.
Definitely.
Absolute Power. You get Flash Gordon that Jeremy Adams is doing.
Also, if you miss it, it is being re-released like a week later. So if they run out of the Energon book, then
you can pay for one at a later date.
Yeah.
I would just like to add a
they
side
do run
note.
out of stuff, don't they? Like,
I want to add a side note for Free Comic Book Day. Just please purchase something, because these stores they pay for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, Free Comic Book Day. There's nothing free about Free Comic Book Day.
Exactly.
Well, before I start, I'm gonna mention a couple of guys mentioned some movies. We got The Gods Must Be Crazy. I'd forgotten all about that movie.
Oh yeah,
right.
And TJ asked if anybody talked about The History of the World.
We did not, but it's also a good one.
Yep. So me, I've been talking about it and I haven't done it yet. Monday, I will be showing off I'll be opening up some more Marvel packs from Five Below. I got a few of those. That's pretty cool. I'll be doing a Comiverse community shout outs in This Week in Comic History on Tuesday. Basically what I showed here in the live show, I'll be showing that on Tuesday. Next Saturday, because I moved it to Saturdays, will be the new episode of Tony's Comic Spotlight, which will drop at 8:30 a.m. that day. And it's going to be Amazing Spider-Man 134, featuring the first appearance of the Tarantula, one of my favorite B Spider-Man villains of all time, and just so happens to be one of my, I would say birthday book, but it actually came out when I was a year old. So, and then back here next week for another episode of Into the Comiverse. Right now, I have no theme planned at the time, but that can always change. And that's all I have. I want to thank everybody for this esteemed panel for hanging out. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, talking about our favorite cult films. I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the chat. You guys were awesome. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you very much. And I'm going to end this with a special ending from one of my favorite fictional characters from a cult film. So we will see y'all next time, and everyone take it easy, and God bless. We will see you next time, and be safe.
Welcome to the human race.